Oh, it feels so good. Sorry, I had to put a little makeup on. My cheeks are a little rosy today. It's fucking 95 degrees outside. Yeah, I know. So hot. It's hot and steamy. I got everything lined up here? I hope so. Let me pick my nose real quick. Wet the old whistle. Let's go. Let's do it. Do it to it, right? Is that what they say? The kids say? Who fucking cares? Here we go. Oh shit! I think I actually. Oh, I hope I didn't. 2 clips. 1 clip. 2 clips. Here we go.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
So I made it through the 4th of July day, whatever it was, the 4th of July. One of the things that I had to do was normally on Tuesdays, I run out of libations here on the property, so I have to run up to the local Food Lion. And if you don't know what Food Lion is, it's kind of a dump. It really is kind of a dump grocery store. I mean, they've got some nice ones, but the nice ones are in nice neighborhoods. And I'm not going to say that our neighborhood isn't nice. We are very rural. I've said this a million times. You know, we're out in the country out here. You know, we sit on this. I do. This podcast sits on about 22 some odd acres here. My wife and I have horses and chickens and cattle and all that stuff. So there's not a whole lot of, there's money out here, but it's just like, you know, everyone basically makes does their own food and, you know, crops and stuff. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the show because I am pissed about the stupidest little thing. But when am I not pissed about something? But the Food Lion around us, it's kind of on the outskirts of our town, but unfortunately, it's the only grocery store that's within 10 miles of the place. So, you know, beggars can't be choosers. When I do my normal grocery shopping and stuff, you've heard me tell stories of all the different things that happen at Walmart to me. So I will drive another 25 miles outside of where we live to go to Walmart. That's it. I mean, sorry to say, but this Food Lion, the employees, I'm going to say, are a good, fair representation of the people in that area. They've got a well-diverse staff there at Food Lion. They got black people, they got white people, they got Spanish people, they got all that stuff. And and that's the base, you know, that's across the board, across America. You know, you should have that in no matter what establishment you have. You should have a fair representation of the people that you're serving in that area. But when I say that it's a good representation of this area, there is a woman, older woman. I'm just going to say she's an older black woman. And she's seen some things. And the reason why I can tell you that she's seen some things is because she's probably maybe 68, 70 years old. And she, if you're watching this on the YouTube video, she has neck tattoos. Old neck tattoos. Like before that whole script writing was all fancy, you know, in the Latin community. And then, you know, each culture, you know, adopts it and makes their own style or twist on it. She's got some old coming out of her collar fucking gangster looking tattoos on her arms. She's got some I don't know, man, you know, let's put it this way, her in the dark alley, I'd go the other way just because she's scary. But what pisses me off with her, I was getting my libations, and I'll get into the other employees at this place because I was like, really? Me? She is an older woman. Like I said, she parks in the handicap spot right up front and then she goes into work. Now, I don't know if that's a thing. I never knew that to be a thing. I know if you work for any brick and mortar store, you would have to park, past a certain area. I know when I worked for Home Depot for 20 years, depending on the store, they are like, okay, see those curbs out there where the bushes and stuff are, that the aisle dividers in the parking lot, you have to park outside of that and then walk into the store. Now, this woman here, of course there's exceptions and stuff, but for her to work her, 8-hour shift or whatever she's at, she's got front row seating, parking right there in the handicap spot right up front of the thing. The reason why I tell you that, and the reason why it upsets me is that food line is a representation of the people in our area. The people in this area around that food line, average age is 60 to 70 years old. And every single one of those handicap spots is valuable. My dad, when he goes up there, this car's always here. I didn't want to tell him who it was. This car's always fucking here. It's always in the handicap spot. I got to drive around 3 times and wait for a spot to open up in the front. But do you think that's right? Do you think that if you're an employee and you've got the handicap, you've gone through the hoops, you've jumped through the hurdles, and do you jump through hurdles? Jumped over the hurdles and through the hoops. And she's got the handicap thing on her car, and she's allowed to park all day up front. I was like, and here's the thing. Oh, and another thing. Hold on, get on this apple box a little bit more. This soapbox. Apple box is for acting. And I just happened to be parking next to the handicap spot. A spot just opened up. I just took it. And as I'm loading my car up with the libations and stuff, I look over and she's having her lunch break, sitting in the car in the handicap spot. Car running, AC on, eating a bag of, Funyuns or something like that. I don't know what they eat, but eating a bag of Funyuns. And that's what started the whole thing. I'm like, for real? Are you fucking kidding me? And I just kind of, But there are some people in this food line. On past episodes of This Is 50, back when Shane was on the show, we mentioned a couple times how sometimes you think a cashier's flirting with you, and you're just like, you kind of perk up, kind of makes you feel good, for the day or whatever. This girl who's 20-something years old gives you a smile, gives you a little sparkle. You have a little pep in your step when you're all done cashing out and stuff, and you start in your mind, you're like, going, well, if my wife ever died, maybe I would have a chance, that type deal. Not divorce. No, it would never be a divorce for me. But, if, knock on wood, nothing would ever happen to my wife. I love her. I love my wife. But it's that little sparkle in the cashier's eye. Well, this cashier, she's young. She's 20, maybe 23 years old, maybe 100 pounds. And when I say maybe 100 pounds, because, and I don't want to say she's cute, because she's not. Let's put it this way. In a warehouse full of food line employees, the one that has 60% of their teeth is the attractive one. Catch my drift here? And so this girl that works at Food Line, she's got these 2 teeth, half of these teeth over here, if you're watching me on the video, all of the bottom ones, and these are kind of rotting out, and it's starting to rot out over here. I know exactly what you're thinking. It's meth. I know it's meth. I know it is. I've seen enough videos and things on movies and stuff. I know it's meth. But she's still, and when I say 100 pounds, that's why she's 100 pounds. Because of, they always say, you can tell when white people smoke meth because they stick it in the side of their mouth and smoke it so the back teeth die before the front teeth die. Instead of just smoking it right in the front like a moron, you got a big hole in the center of your grill. But every time I go in there, she's always like, hi. It's smiling. It's not the best smile in the world, but she's like, hi. Now, I don't want to say she's ugly. She's not. I'm sure you've seen those those what are the profile pictures, when they get arrested and you see the progression of the girl, that's gotten arrested, and this is her first arrest being on whatever, and this is the second arrest that she was on whatever, and then by the time you get to the fifth and sixth arrest, they are fucking ate up. She's probably on arrest number 3. Her arrest number 1, she was probably a cute girl because she does have the facial structure. She looks like she could be cute, but she's on arrest number 3, and that picture is whoa. But I guess she works at the Food Line, and they kind of pass that around and or overlook that, or I don't want to tell you they get into her personal business. Hey, they got a job to run. They got a place to run. You show up for your shift or you don't show up for your shift. She's been there for about a year now, and every time I go in there, she's like, hey. And then when I get to the register, she clams up. She doesn't look at me. She's like, hi. How's your day going? I always do that. How's your day going? Oh, not too bad. And then, so I just kind of like, all right. I guess she has I don't know if she's got a customer crush on me or what. But then there's a head cashier. She's a little older woman. She's got she always combs it straight back. We're watching this on YouTube. Combs it straight back, gray hair, across the back, no bangs, no nothing. And she's probably, I don't know, 57, 58 years old. And every time I come in there, she smiles and kind of smirks at me and, okay, and kind of, winks and gives me a smirk out of the side of her face. Well, what happened this past time, I got both of them. I had to go get stuff for 4th of July cookout. I was like, I don't have buns. I don't have this. I'll run up to Food Line. Let me go get that stuff. Now, the day prior to that, I went and got libations on Tuesday. So this is Wednesday, me going up there, and I got both of them. I got both of them sitting in line. So I got both of them, not for nothing, fighting, quote unquote, fighting over my attention. Because as soon as I went to the crackhead cashier girl, I say crackhead, meth head cashier girl, she's scanning her. How are you? How you been? I'm good, man. How are you? Doing good. Whatever her name is. And then that head cashier comes over and starts bagging my stuff. There's fucking lines going out the door. And here she comes, runs over, and she's like, and she looks at me and she goes, this is the older woman with the gray hair, slick back hair. She goes, no alcohol today? I said, I was just here yesterday. I got 3 cases of beer. You think I drank them already? She's like, I don't know what kind of lifestyle you got. I said, well, it's not that kind of, I said, I don't want to drive all over town. So I buy 3 cases that last me about 5 days and we go from there. She's like, oh, you cooking? And the girl goes, you cooking out for New Year's Day or 4th of July? I said, yeah, we're doing some steaks on the grill. I got a meat slicer at home. I'm going to slice them all up and we're going to make steak sandwiches and stuff. Both of them eyes lit up. You've got a meat slicer at home? You're going to make steaks and then slice them up and make sandwiches? We're going to your house. And I go, well, everyone's invited. It's a wide open property and stuff. I hope you guys have a good. Get me out of here. Just like head down, and I'm driving home. I'm like going, what if they were to show up at my house? What would that look like here? My wife would go, hon, yeah. There's an old witch-looking woman and a meth head out here. I think they want to buy eggs. No, they're here for the party. I invited them. We're not having a party. Yeah, I know. I'll go out and talk to him. So anyways, it was like, oh man, I got them both. I am the Brad Pitt of that store. Let's put it that way. Because I've seen all the other people that walk in there. Jesus Christ. Night of the Living Dead in there. Oh. All right, I'm going to take a quick little break. And I miss my, speaking of getting libations and stuff, I miss my my DUI anniversary, and I'll dive into that. And I got into a fight with someone on Facebook again, and it's someone I actually know this time, and I'll dive in that story when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. So I have a garden here. And when I say a garden, the house itself that we have sits on 2 acres. That's ours. There's no animals. There's no the business is not around. I mean, it kind of engulfs the property and stuff, but the house itself, so we have a nice backyard. If we want to, throw a party in the backyard, have some Food Line employees come over and bother my wife and myself. We have a nice, good-sized front yard. We're far enough away from the major highway that's in front of us. We can, we don't really hear the traffic, but you can kind of see the traffic. Behind us, we have, the pump house because we're on a well system. And we've got an area, if we were going to entertain or I could put like 5 pools or something back. It's developed for the house. And part of the development, or part of the 2 acres, we section off about a 1/4 acre, and we do our crops out there. When I say crops, we've got corn, tomatoes, zucchini. I love doing like jalapeno peppers and stuff like that. But since my dad's moved in, and he's been here for a little over 2.5 years now, when he first moved in, he's like, are you going to do a garden? I'm like, oh yeah, we normally do it and stuff, but we don't have a whole lot of time to take care of it. So, he's like, I'll help out and I'll help you take care of it. I'm like, all right. So we set the sprinklers up. Yeah. So the first year was fine. Second year, he dropped right off. He had, a spell, fell a couple times, so he can't get out there and do the garden. But my wife is very consistent as far as wanting to have a garden out there. Between myself and doing all the different podcast shows that I have here that I do, so busy, and her job, she puts in 60 hours a week. I put in probably about, 40, 45 hours plus dealing with the animals because I basically work and live here on the property at the same time. I really don't have time to go out there and make sure that the garden's 100%. So I just get kind of, we're spending all this money to get I'm pulling stuff out of the garden, like tomatoes are starting to pop up. And I'm like, tomatoes are dying. It's hot. We live in North Carolina, or actually just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. We haven't gotten rain in like 8 days. The sprinkler can't keep up with the heat. Yesterday was a feel like of 99, 91 with a feel like of 99. Today's a 92 with a feel like of, I think, 97. There's a little breeze and stuff. But I just can't keep on top of it. I can't. So I'm sitting out there and I'm pulling corn off the things because they're ready to go, and I'm opening them up and there's like worms, and I'm like, fuck, I'm wasting all this time and I'm wasting all this water. I'm wasting all this energy to get what out of this harvest, out of this, hold on. Oh man. To get what? Eight tomatoes and right now like a dozen ears of corn. It's not worth my time. I told my wife, I said, this is the last year. This is it. If you want to do something in pots and have them up on the porch, that's fine. But I said, no one can do it. My dad can't get out there. He can't pull weeds. He said to me the other day, the planter box on the left-hand side, it's awfully dry. All right, Dad, throw some water in there. Well, I don't know how to do that. Well, it's a good thing. How did you make it this far in life? I said, there's a hose out there, Dad. Well, it's connected to the sprinkler. I said, then turn the sprinkler on. I don't know how to turn the sprinkler on. It's a little button that says manual. You hit that, it comes on automatically for 10 minutes. Does it? I tried. No, you didn't, because it's one button. If you can't find one button that says manual on it, then we're going to have to put you down, Dad. I'm going to put you right in the fucking ground. That's it. We're going to turn you over to a nursing home and they can do whatever you want. And he has no ambition to do anything. He tries, but it's 40% trying. But so I was just like, oh, nobody wants to water the plants out there. So I'm dealing with that. I know but like I said, this show is strictly therapy for me, strictly for me to get this out. If you guys enjoy it and you guys can relate to it, by all means, enjoy it and pass it along to everyone else. I watched this show on, I think it was Netflix, and it's with what's his name, something Cumberbatch. What's his name? Doctor Strange. And it was an interesting movie. He's this Jim Henson type person in the show. It's called Eric. And his whole he created this, puppet troupe, marionette, not marionette because that's with the strings, puppet troupe, kind of like a spin-off of Sesame Street, or they kind of loosely did it like a Sesame Street where it teaches kids about, problems in life and all that. Blah, 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 blah. And his son, I'm not going to give anything away, but I mean, his son goes missing. And goes missing on purpose. Like he's tired of mom and dad fighting at home, so he's like going, basically, I'm out of here. And the kid's 10 years old, and so now it's a scramble to find their son that doesn't want to be with mom and dad. Dark movie, show, series. I think there's 7 episodes. God, it was dark. There's very well done though, except for the end. Kind of wrapped it up and said, all right, how much money we got left? We got $1,000, boss. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this shoot up, end the show, and let's roll credits. Right? And you got it. So we watched it. It was good. It was really, like I said, dark, and you're wondering, who's at fault, and doesn't really involve or unravel until later on in the end. The one thing that I have a problem with, and it's not just this movie, it's a lot of movies out there. Well, there's two things I have. Me being a film and theater major in school, there's two things that I have a problem with. One, we can make a CGI fucking spaceship fly through the fucking air and land on a planet, and the water and everything looks so fucking real. But when they do the picture of walking through the person's house, and it's, here's the husband and wife's picture, in the house, and it's a, whatever photo, the family photos, and it's all like, you can tell it's Photoshop, but it's the worst Photoshop ever. The heads are not just quite right. They're a little bit bigger than all the heads of the pictures of everyone. And, it's the word that throws me out of it every fucking time when you see the family photos of the people that are in the movie and they're so fucking poorly photoshopped. It takes me right out of it. The second thing that takes me right out of the goddamn movies is when someone pukes. And when I say someone pukes, we all know. I'm getting mad here. God, that's how much it pisses me off. Everyone knows. Everyone's puked. If you've not puked, you're an alien. You should be tested somewhere. They should round you up and put you in a cage somewhere and run tests on you. Everyone has puked, and you know what a puke and the stuff leading up to the puke and what the puke looks like as it comes out of your body. Or you've seen someone. So let's put it that way. So if you haven't puked, all right, I'll give you a pass. You non-regurgitating people. But you've seen someone else puke. You know what it looks like. When they puke in a movie, it's always like they put mashed potatoes and something and liquid in their mouth real quick, and and it just kind of falls out. Puke projectiles out. And this movie had a couple scenes where someone got sick and puked and stuff. And I'm watching it, I'm like going, man, that's fake puke. Fake, it's not real. I'm not. You lost me. You could be the best actor. I'm in the theater, and you do the best, and then, oh my God, the vile discrimination of the person's body made me want to, and then it cuts to, like, cottage cheese coming out. You just kind of dribbles off your chin, and you're like going, that's not puke. That's not the way puke comes out. There was a scene in a movie, I forget, years ago. It was one of the best puke scenes I've ever seen. His job was, the actor, I forget what movie it was, long night of drinking or something like that, he had to puke in a toilet. Before the scene, he ate chili, macaroni and cheese, and all this other vile stuff, and he was like going, okay, take one. He shoves his fingers into his mouth and starts puking. Roll. And that was real. Are we still rolling? Okay. He'd go off to the side and stick his fingers in his mouth. All right, rolling, go. And it looked, it was all over the bowl. It was all over the side. But, that's commitment. That is commitment. I wish I knew what movie it was, but he actually, ate something that he knew he was going to puke up. He was like, oh, this is going to look good on camera. Like, let's roll tape. So, but when you see someone do the whole puking and cottage cheese just kind of dribbles off it just takes me out of the movie. I think there was a scene in Saturday Night Live, or a skit on Saturday Night Live, where they had the hose if you're watching this on the YouTube video, they had the hose. Everyone had long sleeves on, and the hose was like right there at their at their palm, and they would just go, kind of cup, kind of do the sleight of hand and go, blah, and it would just puke. I know. Everyone's like going, come on. I'm hungover from the 4th of July. You want to talk about puking? Yes, I want to talk about puking because it takes me out of the movement of the movie. Let's put it that way. So, I know that was it. That was it. That's all I want to say about that. But the Eric movie was really good, and the two things that's going to stick out now every time you guys watch movies: the shitty Photoshop and the way people puke. It's not real. It's not real life happening. I had an argument with a friend. I say a friend loosely. I'll dive into that when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. See, almost puked. I've got bad allergies dealing with that fucking garden. It's like a web right here. It just tickles the back of the throat and just makes you go, whoa. Here, let me fix that. Mm-hmm. Delicious. So I think we're far enough in the middle of the show that she's probably not listening anymore. Oh, yeah. I don't want to say it's a stalker, but it is there is a female. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So, I know I'm going to get it. I'm going to end up puking on the show. There was a girl. I was on a radio station a long time ago and DJing in clubs. One of the clubs I DJ'd at, I've told you this, I'm not shy about it, but I DJ'd in strip clubs. So when you're a DJ in a strip club and you're also on a radio station and you're doing pretty good, you're pulling in good numbers and stuff, you kind of draw a little bit of attention to yourself. So the girls in the strip club, outside of being the only, good-looking guy, like myself. Now, these aren't Food Line employee strippers. They're, high class. I say high class. If the Major League Baseball, you got your Major League Baseball. I didn't like those clubs. They were too many rules. This is like AAA, AA, not Farm League, but one of those. And this one girl wanted to be on the radio with us. And at the time I was with a troop of people, and there was three of us, and she's like, I want to be on the radio with you. All right, yeah, you can come on, be on the radio with us. Jason Bailey was one of the other, if you want to look that name up, he was one, and he's gotten in a bunch of trouble. Not the name drop or anything, but he was in the building on another station in another room. We had strippers that would come on the show, and they'd get naked and do all that stuff, and he would run over and, hey, man, I want to see some boobs. I'm like, go back to your own show. Get your own strippers. So this girl kind of took a liking to me, and I was like, she's nice. We hang out. I don't want to say we went out and partied or anything like that, but we just kind of hung out for a little bit, and something happened. There was a discussion when I was at the club with her, and she said, I kind of like you. I think you're kind of cute and all that stuff. I'm like, all right, yeah, you're cute. Do you want to go out sometime? Yeah, we can go out sometime, just kind of brush it off. And so she went around and told everyone, I'm going out with, Travis. We're going out. I'm going out. We're going out. I'm like, we're not going out. We're going somewhere else, like lunch or something like that. Go see a movie, just the basic stuff. She was cute. Like I said, AAA Farm League. And nothing ever happened. And so I don't want to say that we were dating because that, when I say dating, that means, you're involved. This is a commitment. This is not a commitment. This is like, we're going to go drink some beers and hang out, and then I'm going home and see you later type deal. So that lasted probably like 45 days, flavor of the month type deal. And fast forward to, let's see, 10 years after that, found out that she got married and had a kid, and her husband went to jail for laundering money. Oh, yeah, real dodged a bullet on that one. You know what I mean? And so she went to jail and then got out, or she got out first because she rolled on her husband, and then the husband got out, and now they're back together, and blah, 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 blah. She posted something on Facebook the other day. Now, mind you, the only conversation or contact I've ever had with her was through Instagram, which I rarely go through. I'm not on Facebook with her, not on, friends and stuff. Somehow she found me. She's like, oh, friend request. All right. She types this big, long thing out on Facebook. Now, this is, I think the last time I worked in a club was in 2002, 2003. So you can see there's a big 20-year time frame that's gone by now. We were in our early or late 20s, early 30s. Well, she was probably 10 years younger than I was, being a stripper and all. So now she's, 40-something now, as to where I'm 51. Wrote this big, long thing. My husband landed his dream job type deal. But we're trying to make ends meet, and, the big sob story, and we need gas money. And, if anyone can help me, here's my Cash App, here's my Venmo, here's my, and this is and I say, you're like, well, why don't you help her out? She's been doing this for a long time. She gets herself in these situations and then relies on everyone to bail her out. Sound familiar? Government stuff. So 2 weeks later, I see a picture that she's posted that there's a new baby. And I'm thinking, all right, I know she's got 2 kids, 3 kids or something like that. Did she have another baby? And I just posted something as simple as like, hey, weren't you just asking, 2 weeks ago for money for your husband for gas? Why are you, and just posted the baby picture. I love her to death, that type thing. So who the fuck do I know what the fuck this is? I said, weren't you just asking 2 weeks ago? Texting, beer. Weren't you just asking 2 weeks ago that, for gas money and stuff? And I hit send. Within a half hour. Who do you think? What are you thinking? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like going, oh, come on. Really? I just said, weren't you just asking, and you're posting this new baby. Who's this baby? Go in a little bit more detail. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck you. If you come back. So she grabs all my social networks and she starts grabbing everything and trying to I'm like, all right, this is not going anywhere. Should have blocked you. Blocked. So she has no way of getting in contact with me because she'll just, it's one of those, I'm going to make your life miserable type deal. I'm like, I'm sorry. The one time I talked to her, I post something. Now she's freaking. So the one thing I forgot is that I'm on TikTok. She found me on TikTok. And the good thing about TikTok, what I like about TikTok, is they let you know who has subscribed to you. So I'm like going, oh, great. Now, because I do the show, and I do all the little short videos and stuff, and I do all this other stuff, she's going to find out, and I'm going to end up talking about it. That's why I waited till the middle of the show. So maybe she'll... He's not going to talk about me. I know he's going to talk about me. He's always going to talk about something. He's going to talk... And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So I was dealing with that, and Jesus. What a... Go work at Food Line. Do me a favor. Go work at Food Line. I think 1997, 96, I believe. I got a DUI. And the only reason why I'm telling you this is because, well, first of all, if I was to tell my mom that, she'd be dead. Well, she's dead now, so now I don't have to worry about it. My dad came to me in 2005 or something like that and said, hey, did you get a DUI? I guess he was going through some records or something, like his job or something was, I don't know why he was looking up my records, my police records. Did you get a DUI like in 96? I'm like, yeah, Daddy. Like, what happened? I said, I'm still here. He's like, all right, I won't tell your mother, or I'm not going to say anything or something. He said something like that. So every year, June 8th, I always go, that's the time I did something stupid. The reason why I said I did something stupid, of course, DUI, you shouldn't drink and drive or get, I don't want to say get caught, but, just be smart about it. It was 2 days before my dad's birthday. My dad was born on June 10th, and I know that at the time they were having a big birthday party for my dad. So June 8th, around noon, 11 o'clock, noon, 1, 2 o'clock, Home Depot had a bowling party. We had a bowling party. Drinks were had by all. That ended at 6, and then the group of people wanted to continue. So we went somewhere else, had some more drinks, and then I was literally like pulling into my driveway type deal. Oh, they fucking love that. Don't they love that? They get a fucking hard on. And I pull up in my driveway and I get out and, he doesn't light me up until I get in my driveway. Whoop, whoop. Ah, fuck. Went to jail, did the whole thing, paid the fines, did all, no contest, whatever. But the problem was I was in jail for 24 hours, and I was so worried that I was going to miss my dad's birthday party that my mom and the whole family planned and everything. And I literally got out of jail, took a shower, went home to take you don't sleep in jail, took a nap, got dressed, and made it to my dad's birthday party, and nobody knew anything. I was like, whew. I had some friends of mine that helped me, post bail, and it was my first thing, so they did on his own recognizant or whatever. So every time I think of June 8th, actually, every time I think of my dad's birthday, I think of June 8th. Now, this is the first year since 1996 I've never thought about it. So I want to say that I guess I'm over it now that my dad's living here, that, before he wasn't living here, and it was always in my mind, oh, June 8th's coming around, don't get a DUI because your dad's birthday is in 2 days. That's the only way I remember my dad's birthday, which is sad in itself. But yeah, June 8th, 96, I believe it was. And went through that. Oh, I don't recommend it. It's a money scam in itself, but we can talk about that at another time. When we come back, my wife's friend lost her dad. And I don't know how to express my condolences. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I'll dive into just my whole train of thought as far as that, because I didn't know what to say. I honestly, and because my wife was like, hey, what's her name's dad died. And I kind of went, She's like, are you going to say anything? I go, I'm thinking about it because I don't know what I should say. And what came out was I don't know. You tell me your opinion if I did the right thing. So stick around. I'll be right back. Fourth of July. I always want to say weekend, but it's not. It's just the one day this year. Normally they'll turn it into a whole weekend. Some people take, Friday off. It's a throwaway week, basically. But here on the property, I like making boiled peanuts. And my wife likes the salty garlic ones. And then I make I take habaneros, jalapenos, anything hot, spicy, throw it in there. So I make 2 pots. And I'll post this over on the Facebook page, This Is 50, if you want to check those out. So those sit on the back porch, because I don't know if you've ever cooked boiled peanuts before. They stink. They smell like white. They smell like burnt, wet mud all the time. There's no like, oh, that smells like, when someone's baking, Christmas cookies. Oh, you're making Christmas cookies. Nobody walks in the house and goes, oh, you're making boiled peanuts. No, people walk in the house and go, what the fuck is that smell? I'm making boiled peanuts. Take that shit outside. So I've learned over the years. I'll get 2 crock pots and I'll, put 1.5 pounds or 2-3 pounds of raw peanuts in there, and I'll let them just sit on the back porch and go. So if you're listening to the show and you want to see all the pictures from the 4th of July weekend, and I'll post that up there on the This Is 50 Facebook page, and also the London broil. We got an Angus London broil. You're like, oh, that's a cheap cut of meat. Oh, my friend, you do not know the beautifulness of a well-seasoned, well-marinated, well-cooked, and I say well-cooked, cooked correctly, London broil. My wife usually does it in the oven. It was a nice hot day. It was a nice breezy day outside, and like I said, we were going to do the steak sandwiches. So I got a nice, it's thick. It was like 1.5 to almost 2 inches thick. London broil. Cost like $15. Marinated, brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, I think someone called it. Olive oil, a bunch of other seasonings. Let it sit in there for about an hour or so in a bag, and then put it on the grill, and you have this nice caramel. It was good. Put it on the meat slicer. Slice, paper thin slices and stuff, and then made steak sandwiches out of it. I don't know. Everyone is dying right now. I actually, one of the Matt Cochran, who was on the show with me for a little bit, he's like, hey, happy 4th of July. I'm like going, happy 4th of July. And I took a picture of the sandwich and sent it to him. He's like, it looks good. Damn it. I wish I was there type deal. But he's doing good, by the way. I did go to a gathering, a party. It's not really a party. My wife, she rides horses. She rides them not professionally, but she does ride as a hobby, but she does qualify. She, receives trophies. She receives ribbons. She receives stature in the horse community. She receives some type of, there's a prize at some point that she does and all that. But part of that is going to clinics, and clinics, all it is someone coming out and teaching you, a group of people. It's like having a batting coach. If you're in playing baseball or something, having a special batting coach come out and teach you how to swing the bat correctly. Just give you a little bit more tools in your toolbox to help you, achieve whatever goal that you're trying to do with whatever sporting event you're getting into. Well, there was a long lining. I know this is really getting into horse talk here, but that's the show I do on Monday. You can listen to that if you want. So they had a big group of people, and my wife was like going, are you going to come up we're having dinner. They're going to cook out on the grill. And this is 3 or 4 days prior to 4th of July. So yeah, I'll come up there. So as soon as I get there, because of the horse community and because it's such a closely knit community, and they know that I do a podcast about horses and stuff, I've got a professional guy that's on the show with me. I don't know anything about horses. I just drive the boat. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there going, so what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? That type of stuff. I got a professional guy on there on the show, and he's great. He's a very knowledgeable guy. And it's called Equine Dynamics, and you can find that if you want to listen to that if you're a horse person. So I show up, and I don't know half of these people, but they've heard me before, and they go, oh, hey, you're the guy with the podcast. Yeah, that's me. Hi, how you doing? Yeah. So sitting there, and not that everyone wants to talk to me, because I've been in those situations before. I'm not trying to be a baller or anything like that, but you have to admit when you're in this kind of field, in this kind of environment, people talk to you a little different, and I'm not what they call quote unquote on. When I'm out in the open, I kind of say to myself, and I really won't open my mouth. If it's a group of people, I really won't insert myself into a conversation. I just kind of let the conversation, breathe and mold and do whatever it is, and I just kind of put in my 2 cents now and then. But I was sitting next to this couple, and they were asking questions about the podcast and stuff, and they're like going, "Have you seen?" They want to show me everything. Here's my horse. It's like looking at baby pictures. Oh, really? That's a baby I've never seen before? Great. Looks just like you, I guess. Have you seen the Olympics with Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg? And I'm like going, oh, where they do commentary about yeah, did you see the one where they were talking about the horses? Because they're all into dressage and stuff. And they said the horse was doing crip walking. And I go, yeah. Have you seen Yeah, I think I've seen it. Well, hold on. I got it on my phone. Oh, God. So they were so impressed. And in my opinion, they were so impressed that these two one's a black rapper, artist. The other one is a comedian, actor. They were talking about their sport, horses, equines. They were so enthralled with them making fun of, and I say making fun of, when there's something called dressage and the way the horse gallops and moves, and it's very, very specific as far as what the horse does. You know, you're looking for certain movement and angles and trot and gallops and gaits and all that stuff. All they saw was a horse just doing crazy shit. Oh man, look at that horse doing crazy shit. Oh man, Snoop Dogg, oh Kevin Hart, and they were showing me, and they were dying laughing because these two black guys, did not know what they were looking at, so they were making fun of it. So I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, I've seen this before. No, but watch. And I'm like, oh okay, yeah. Fuck. I've seen this before. You missed that part? Then they go, look, they don't even know what that is. And I'm like going, I don't know what that is. When they talk about the movement and stuff, and they were having, I felt kind of like they were being kind of stereotypical, because essentially what they were saying was, look at these two black men talking about horses in a field that rarely has any black people in the sport, or in the facility, or in that, unless they're driving the truck or doing the labor stuff. You don't see a whole lot of, it's not their type thing. Look at these two black men making fun of what they don't understand. Isn't it hilarious? Look at them. I'm like going, yeah, I've seen this before. It's not that funny, really, because I don't understand it either, but they get paid to make fun of stuff. I get paid to do a lot of other things. If you're having a good time with it, and then they were going, hey, whatever the other person, Derek, come over here. Have you seen this yet? And they start passing that video around and video. Have you seen? And I'm like going, oh, God, you're making yourself look stupid. It's bad and stupid and bad. So I was just like, yeah, okay. Anyone need help on the grill? Can I run and grab a beer for someone? Get me away from these two people. I think they were just dumb blinded, and didn't realize what they were saying or how they were coming across. And that's sad. I mean, that's kind of sad. I mean, there's one thing to be, I don't want to say racism, but that type of mentality it just shows, I don't want to say ignorance, maybe just lack of intelligence. I don't know if that's the message I was trying to portray, but I mean, I was just like, oh, yeah, I got it. God, they were bent over laughing. I was like, yeah, I got it. I was watching a documentary on Nickelback. I know everyone's rolling their eyes. Oh, that fucking band, Believe it or not, when I was working in the radio and working in the nightclubs and stuff, Nickelback, I was right at that peak where Nickelback came in, and all of a sudden everyone hated him. There was a guy who would come into the club, and I'd play Nickelback, at the strip club, I like to pass around the ring. He would come over, and the DJ booth I was in was kind of higher up, so you can kind of see down. He would sit there. He's a big guy, big biker guy. He would kick the DJ booth to make at the time we were playing with CDs, we didn't have the laptop stuff and everything. This is early 2000s. He would kick to make it skip upstairs. He'd bang. He was a big 300-pound biker guy. Long hair, glasses and all that, or sunglasses, and bam. I'm like, cut it out, Matt. Matt, I know you're down there. I like the way, the CD would skip. He's like, turn that shit off. I'll come up there and kick your ass. I'm like, why? This is a good song. In the way you remind me. I liked it. It was fun. It was, and it's funny because I didn't know about the documentary yet, but my dad comes out and he's like, hey, breakfast time, and I'm drinking coffee in the morning, which I quit doing now for about a week now because it's hot out. Fucking coffee. Have you heard of a band called Nickelback? And I go, yeah, oh yeah. there's a documentary about them on Netflix. I'm like, oh, does it say how much everyone loved them and then hated them and then loved them again? Yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, I don't know, Dad. It's he goes, they're pretty good. I kind of like their music. Now, my dad has a musical background. He played guitar, North Carolina, singing old hymns, the wagon wheel song and what's the old rugged cross and all that stuff. He comes from a very Baptist religious background. So everyone in the family, piano, guitars, all that stuff. And then he had a band. He had an actual record out, and they were called the Mailmen, M-A-L-E Men. I think they only had one record out. So my dad's got a musical background, so he understands music and appreciates that. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of like them." I'm like, really? He's like, "Yeah, guitars are a little loud." And I'm like, "Yeah, Dad." I said, "That's kind of what the whole thing was, the big drums, the big loudness, and all that stuff." He's like, "Yeah, I like them." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know," but I'm listening to it, and they're not that bad. And one band that I really, really like, and I'll get into this story a little bit, is Creed. And I know they're kind of trying to come back now. Oh, hey yo! But I've always liked them, and the reason why I always liked them is because I had a unknowing connection to them, to Scott Stapp. So let me tell you this little story. My friend, who's now passed away, he was the best man at my wedding. His name was Jason Howell. His sister, who was on, I forget what show she was on. She was on a reality show for a while. Dated Scott Stapp in like the high school days, or coming just out of high school when he was forming his band. And he's like, "Yeah, my sister used to date the lead singer of Creed for a while." I said, "Oh, really? Where'd your sister go to high school at?" He said, "Dr. Phillips." Well, I went to Oak Ridge High School, and they were our rivals. And I said, what year was that? What year did he go to Dr. Phillips? And this is like at the beginning, like my own Prison, the first album that came out. And he said, 90, I think 93. And I go, well, I graduated in 91, so I would have seen him at parties and stuff. And sure enough, I was going through some old photos and watching the documentary at the same time. I'm like going, I was at that party with him. There's my foot in the picture. That's my foot. I knew the guy, and I knew the guy kind of like by proxy. I knew he was the weird guy who would just sit in the corner and he would be writing stuff in a tablet, and nobody would really talk to him and stuff. And then watching the documentary and stuff, his mom was a teacher, and she taught Spanish. Well, in my junior year of high school, I took Spanish over the summer. Took Spanish 2 over the summer. And his mom was my teacher. So now and then when she would leave, he would be in the car waiting for, because he'd pick her up from school or whatever. He would be there, and, I just kind of like, what's up? So then I hear him, he's up on stage and he's doing all this stuff, and I hear, he's slowly building, and I'm like going, hey, I know that guy. And he starts sitting, doing it. And so like by proxy, I knew the guy. So I was like, listen to his music. I'm like, you know what? He's pretty good. He's pretty good coming out of Orlando, doing a big thing and things like that. And I was like going, wow, I really like, he did a great success story. Sometimes you get success stories out of your own town. It's one of two things. They either, he was nothing. He was garbage when he was here, and now he's too big shot and fancy and stuff. Or, hey, this guy, he comes from our hometown. We have complete support behind him, and yada, yada, yada. Well, Creed was that way, just like Nickelback. They had all the support behind them from Orlando, or at least from my side of Orlando. Got big and stuff, and then all of a sudden, they started hating them. Why are you playing this crap? Why is this? Blah, blah, blah. But I've liked both of them, Nickelback and Creed. I like the big guitars. I'm going to get this out of my throat here in a minute. The big guitars, the lyrics were incredible. If you sit there and listen to the lyrics now, Nickelback kind of a little wishy-washy on the stripper songs and stuff. But I mean, the stuff that they wrote, I mean, wrote, like sit down and wrote. Both of them, very talented artists, very talented, I don't want to say musicians, maybe directors for the band, because they're the ones who's kind of, scripted all the music out. So, all right, we need drums here, we need this here, we need this here. I don't want to say genius, but just another approach to it. So I like them both. So if you don't like them, fuck you. I don't care. I listen to them. I still get, teary-eyed. There's an emotional contact between both of those bands. Now, I don't have an emotional contact with Nickelback, other than when Creed was kind of fading out, Nickelback kind of picked up the torch and ran with it, and kind of gave me that same feeling, that same, hey man, this is really, really good. The lyrics are good. Nice big crunch. I don't have to worry about the neighbors yelling at me because I'm playing it too loud. Now I got to worry about the neighbors playing it at all because they hate it. But now they're coming back around. So I watched that documentary. It was good. It was fun. They kind of sold it short because I know Chad got into a lot of problems with drugs and they got a lot of problems with other things. They kind of left that away. But it was an interesting, I think it's called Hate to Love to something like that. I forget, it's on Netflix. It was pretty good. It was interesting. So if you got like an hour and a half to kill, and if you're not sure if you like Nickelback anymore or why you hated them, this kind of goes through that to a certain point. All right, I'm going to take a quick little break, and then when we come back, I'm going to talk about my friend's dad passing away, and I think we should do away with something. So stick around. I'll be right back. I got to get this out. It's almost there. It went from here to here now. Pretty soon I'll go bleh, puke it all out. I saw a post on Facebook that I was kind of like, okay, I'm over this. I don't know if it's that time of year, the hottest months, people get crazy in the hot months of the year, crime goes up, things like that go up, suicide goes up. And over the last 3 weeks, I've seen posts of, happy heavenly birthday to, whoever. And mostly because the person died young, that type deal. And I kind of go to myself, I have a hard time. I have a hard time swallowing the whole heavenly birthday thing. Especially if you're dead. Well, I mean, that's pretty much why I have a hard time with it. I know people are fucking calling me on this stupid phone. I don't think, you hear, let's see, how can I word this to where it makes sense to me and comes out right. You're born, happy birthday. There's your birthday. And then you die. You don't get any more birthdays. Unless you're famous. What makes them different than us? Well, because they're famous. Or they contribute to society. Well, what makes you say that I didn't contribute to society, says the dead person. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe presidents, this is Abraham Lincoln's birthday, his 175th birthday. No, it's not. He's dead. He's gone. Can we stop celebrating birthdays if you're dead because you're dead? It's not a birthday anymore. It's a celebrate your death day. On this day, Michael Jackson died. We celebrate that. Farrah Fawcett died. We celebrate that. Do we celebrate it? Or do we just mention it? We don't celebrate, Michael Jackson would have been 65. He would have been 65. Why is that news? I understand it. You got to fill the gaps in between the bleed and lead type stuff. But why do we need to celebrate heavenly birthdays anymore? My mom, I don't celebrate. I won't celebrate. I will sit there. Yeah, I say this loosely. I will go, today's November 8th. Oh, today's my mom's birthday. Or was my mom's birthday. Not a heavenly birthday. I don't say that. That wouldn't make any sense. Dad, happy heavenly birthday to mom. I mean, you want to take a shotgun to the face and remind something of what's going on. I just think the heavenly birthday is When did that start? Did social media start that? Because I've never heard of that growing up. Oh, I always heard, Sean would have been 42 this year. Oh, really? It's it's a shame. Shame he hung himself type deal. This fucking thing. I got to put this on airplane mode. Give me a second. Call you back when I land. So, the whole heavenly birthday thing, I think it's first of all, I think it's overrated, overdone. Because the only reason why you're saying it on your Facebook page, hold on, is for likes and clicks. That's the only reason. So there's your answer. The heavenly birthday only came about for likes and clicks and heartfelts and emojis, for you. It's bullshit. It's injecting yourself into someone else's, despair and unfortunate situation to make it about you. Pray for me. Pray for me. Today's my mom's 75th heavenly birthday. What? What? Heavenly birthday? She's dead. There's no more birthdays. She's done. And so I was thinking about that, and not what brought it on. I've been thinking about this for a long time, but it just kind of, like this past 30 days, I've seen it like over and over and over again. Like I said, hot months, and people do crazy things. Unfortunately, my wife's, one of my wife's best friends, she's known her for, since elementary school, and knew her dad during that time as well. He passed away. And so the best friend changed her profile picture to her dad, which is great. Honor him. Hey, not a lot of your friends knew him. If they did, my condolences type stuff. So my wife goes to me. She's like going, such and such dad died. And I go, huh. And she's like going, are you going to say something? I said, hold on a minute. I said, let me gather my thoughts here. I'm watching Nickelback. No, I didn't say that. I said, hold on one sec. I said, I'm trying to, because I know her very well. And I know that she's been through a lot of stuff in her personal life. And I want to say something to support my wife, whose best friend's dad just died. But I don't want to sound fake or false or unconcerning about it. I said, well, babe, I said, technically, I don't know him. I didn't know him. She's like, yeah. She's waiting for it. I said, but I said, did you know him? She's like, yeah, he was a great guy. I said, I can understand he's a great guy. He's raised 2 beautiful daughters, because I know the best friend and her sister. And I said the trials and tribulations that both of them, because they got their own personal things going on as far as, being married and kids and all that stuff. And I said, for them to handle it with as much dignity, self-restraint, and positivity shows a reflection of what kind of father he was. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, without that man, who I don't know at all, I think I met him once. For that man to raise his 2 daughters, and for those 2 daughters to go through what they've gone through in the last 10 years, because it's been hell on both of them, between divorce, between child custody, between all the stuff. Not to air dirty laundry, I'm not going to get into all the details and stuff, but they have been through a lot. Both daughters trying to have a kid, having a, getting married, and so on and so forth, the downward spiral and all that stuff. And for them to come out on top smiling and understanding that they have a good, solid foundation inside of them, both girls, is a great representation of who that man, their father, was. And my wife goes, she's like, that's pretty cool. She's like, because, I'm getting choked up a little bit. She goes, because my best friend has no idea what to say about her dad. Because that life force has been taken away from her. That support system. Anytime you lose a parent like that, I always say it's kind of like watching a library burn down. All that knowledge, all that information, all that lessons and history of things is now gone. And you can't go back to that library anymore. So when I said that to my wife, she was like, okay. She's like, I understand. You didn't know him, but that's a really good... She's like, I didn't think about it that way. I said, okay, well, there you go. So, your opinion, was that the correct answer? Was that the thing that I should say? I mean, I could have said a million different things. You know, hey, Deborah's dad died. I'm just making up names. Deborah's dad died. You know, to make up the name for the same person. Deborah's dad died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences. How do you feel after that? If I say to Danielle or, whoops, if I was to say to Deborah, my condolences. You know what she's going to say? Thank you. Means nothing. But when you realize the person that he's left behind and understand that person, who they are because of the father and the mother. I mean, the tag team there. But mostly for the father, because he passed away. We're talking about him. To see how strong these two girls are, the two sisters, you have to go, okay, it's because of him that you are the way you are. So that was my my outtake. That was what I said to my wife. So if you think I'm wrong or you think I'm right, or should I add anything, or should I change it? Is it my business to say that? I'd like to hear from you. And the way you can do that is just go over to Facebook. Search This Is 50. Just like us over there. And you can see all the different stuff that we do here in the studio. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you want to comment on this, by all means, right down below. It's, like I said, this is therapy for me. Hopefully some of you guys can take a little bit away from it and add it to your life, positive or negative, or just, what to do or what not to do as we turn this corner to the age of 50. I'm trying not to give a speech here, but all right, guys, on that note, okay, see you, bye.